What if I told you? The numbers you choose on April 17, 2025 weren't just digits on a ticket, but reflections of your energy, your mindset, your path. Let's get real. Most people think the lottery is pure chance. But from a deeper perspective, especially through the lens of Buddhist wisdom, numbers can be mirrors, symbols, reminders to align your life with purpose, clarity, and abundance. So today, we're not just sharing 6 lucky numbers for April 17th. We're revealing 6 powerful principles behind them. Each one carries meaning rooted in timeless spiritual teachings, and if you understand how to use them, they can guide your decisions, shift your energy, and attract not just wealth, but deep, soul-level transformation. Because true fortune doesn't start when you win. It starts when you wake up. To kick off this journey, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss wisdom like this. And here's your first energy shift. Comment below, "I welcome growth and harmony into my life." Just by doing that, you're planting a seed, one that invites peace, clarity, and aligned opportunities into your world. Let's begin. These 6 numbers may surprise you, but their real power lies in how they change you. Part 1. Beyond numbers. Understanding the true nature of wealth. Wealth. For most people, that word immediately triggers images of bank accounts, luxury, and that elusive big win, like hitting the lottery this coming Monday, April 17th. But in Buddhist philosophy, wealth takes on a much deeper meaning. It's not just about how much you have, but how you live, your intentions, your actions, and the karma you create every day. In Buddhism, karma isn't a cosmic punishment system, it's simply cause and effect. You plant kindness, you harvest peace. You sow greed, you reap restlessness. So when it comes to wealth, the focus isn't on luck, it's on alignment. I'll never forget my uncle, who once won a huge lottery prize. For a while, he had everything: cars, trips, new friends. But within 2 years, it was all gone. Not just the money, but his sense of purpose. The truth? He had the money, but not the mindset. That's when I realized external wealth without internal clarity is just chaos in disguise. That's why today's 6 numbers aren't just lucky digits. They're symbols, powerful reminders of values rooted in ancient teachings. Each number we explore will connect to a deeper spiritual principle, helping you not just wish for wealth, but actually prepare for it. Because real fortune doesn't knock, it answers when you're ready. And that readiness, it starts inside. Part 2. Number 6. The 6 perfections and the true measure of abundance. In Buddhist teachings, the number 6 symbolizes the 6 perfections, 6 timeless virtues that lead not only to enlightenment, but to a rich, meaningful life. These are generosity, morality, patience, diligence, meditation, and wisdom. While they may sound spiritual or even abstract, these perfections are deeply practical, and they hold the real secret to lasting wealth. Let me tell you a story. Miss Sarah was a retired school teacher living in a small, quiet village. She never had much: a modest pension, a small garden, and an old bicycle. Yet over time, she became one of the most respected and loved women in the community. Why? Because she gave, not from abundance, but from intention. She mentored children whose parents worked late. She taught literacy to the elderly. She hosted free meditation gatherings under her mango tree. And when asked why, she simply smiled and said, "I may not be rich, but I have more than enough to share." That is the spirit of generosity, the first perfection. Each of the 6 perfections is a form of wealth building that transcends money. 1. Generosity. Give not just money, but time, energy, presence. 2. Morality. Live with integrity, even when no one's watching. 3. Patience. Pause before reacting. Give grace to others and yourself. 4. Diligence. Show up consistently, even when no one claps. 5. Meditation. Create space in your mind to reflect and realign. 6. Wisdom. Learn from every moment, even failure. To activate the spirit of the number 6, try this daily. Morning, give something, a compliment, a prayer, your attention. Take a moment to reflect on a moral choice you've made. Evening, meditate for 6 minutes in silence, ending with the question, what did I learn today? When you live these 6 virtues, you'll begin to notice something subtle, yet powerful. The universe responds differently. People trust you. Opportunities arrive. You feel more grounded, more at peace. That's real abundance. Because true wealth isn't about what's in your bank account. It's about what you're building in your heart. Part 3. Number 8. Walking the path of right living. The number 8 is one of the most powerful in Buddhist philosophy. It represents the Noble Eightfold Path, a guide to ethical and mindful living that leads to liberation from suffering. But far from being abstract or religious, this path offers deeply practical wisdom for anyone seeking peace, prosperity, and purpose. Let's bring this to life with a story. Meet Jason, a once ambitious entrepreneur who ran a successful digital marketing agency. His company was thriving, but something felt off. He was constantly anxious, exhausted, and disconnected from his own values. One day, after losing a major client due to a dishonest campaign strategy, Hui had a breakdown. That night, he came across a video on the Eightfold Path. It changed his life. Over the next year, he slowly rebuilt his business, but this time, grounded in Buddhist principles. He applied each aspect of the path directly to his work and life. 1. Right view. He began to see business not as war, but as service. 2. Right intention. He set goals aligned with compassion, not just profit. 3. Right speech. No more exaggeration, only truthful, clear communication. 4. Right action. Ethical campaigns, no manipulation, full transparency. 5. Right livelihood. He rejected clients that sold harmful products. 6. Right effort. Daily discipline, not hustle culture. 7. Right mindfulness. Present during meetings, aware during conflicts. 8. Right concentration. Morning meditation before emails. Within a year, his profits returned. But more importantly, so did his joy. If you want to activate the power of the number 8, try this guided visualization. Close your eyes. Picture your life like a garden. Some areas are flourishing, others are overgrown or dry. Now imagine each step of the Eightfold Path as a tool, a shovel, water, sunlight. Which part of your garden needs tending today? And after your visualization, use these journal prompts. Where in my life am I not living in alignment with my values? Which step of the Eightfold Path do I resist, and why? What one action can I take this week to move closer to right living? The number 8 doesn't just symbolize luck. It invites a full alignment between what you believe, how you live, and the results you attract. Because when your life is built on truth, clarity, and compassion, prosperity doesn't just knock, it flows in naturally. Part 4, number 9, completion, transformation, and letting go. The number 9 in Buddhist tradition is the symbol of completion, the final step before renewal. It marks the end of a cycle, but also hints at something deeper, the readiness for transformation. In April, as nature awakens and winter fades across Europe, it's the perfect moment to embrace this number's message. Let go. finish what lingers, and prepare for rebirth. Let me share the story of Ingrid, a 74-year-old woman from the Netherlands. After her husband passed and her children moved abroad, she found herself surrounded by things: old furniture, boxes of memories, unused rooms echoing with silence. For years, she held on to everything, afraid that letting go meant forgetting the past. But last spring, she made a decision. She sold the large house and moved into a cozy apartment overlooking a canal. She donated most of her belongings and kept only what sparked meaning. It wasn't just decluttering, she said. It was a spiritual cleanse. I finally made space for peace. Ingrid's journey reflects a core Buddhist truth. Clinging leads to suffering. The Buddha taught the cycle of becoming: birth, death, rebirth. Not just in lifetimes, but in daily experiences. Holding on to what has ended, a relationship, a regret, a dream, traps us in pain. But when we accept completion, we invite freedom. This April, take time to complete what's been hanging in the background of your life. That book you started but never finished. The apology you owe but avoided. The decision you've postponed for someday. Number 9 asks, what needs closure so something new can grow? In France, a friend of mine, Jacques, a former banker, left his high-paying job at 65 to pursue woodworking. For him, ending his career wasn't loss. It was liberation. He said, "You can't build a new life with your hands full of the old one." Here are a few practices to activate the energy of 9 this month. Write a closure letter to someone you've lost, or even to an old version of yourself. Let go of 9 physical items that no longer serve you. To create a done list, not to do, but things you've completed and are proud of. Remember, in the garden of life, pruning isn't destruction, it's preparation. And the number 9, it's not just an ending. It's a quiet door, opening to the next, better chapter. Part 5. Number 5. Living ethically in a chaotic world. In today's world, full of distractions, noise, and shortcuts, ethics often feels optional. But in Buddhism, living ethically is not about being perfect. It's about being conscious. The 5 precepts are simple moral guidelines, and when embraced, they create a life of inner stability and outer integrity, especially when the world feels chaotic. Let's explore how these ancient teachings apply to modern life. 1. Refrain from taking life. This goes beyond physical harm. It's about respecting the vitality of all beings, including yourself. For example, skipping sleep, eating poorly, or pushing your body until burnout. That's also taking life. In Berlin, I met a vegan chef who switched careers after realizing his job in marketing promoted products harmful to animals. "I couldn't sell one thing and believe another," he said. He's now thriving, in both spirit and income. 2. Refrain from taking what is not given. Today, this can mean stealing time, attention, or energy. Have you ever distracted a coworker for gossip during their deadline? Or streamed pirated movies, justifying it as no big deal? A friend in London told me, "I stopped watching leaked films, not because of law, but because I realized I was taking without permission. It felt like stealing someone's effort." 3. Refrain from sexual misconduct. This isn't just about infidelity. It's about respect in relationships. Do you honor the feelings of your partner? Do you flirt to feel powerful, even when it creates confusion? Respect in this area builds long-term emotional wealth. 4. Refrain from false speech. Lying, yes, but also lies of omission. Have you ever stayed silent when truth was needed, or exaggerated to be liked? In Prague, a teacher I know tells her students, Half-truths build whole walls between people. Choosing truth, kindly and courageously, brings freedom. 5. Refrain from intoxicants. This doesn't only mean alcohol or drugs. It includes anything that clouds your mind. Doom scrolling, gossip, binge-watching negativity. Ask yourself, does this habit numb me or nourish me? When you live by these precepts, you don't just become morally good. You become spiritually clear. You sleep better. You trust yourself more. Others feel it too. As the Buddha said, as the ocean has one taste, the taste of salt, so too does my teaching have one taste, the taste of freedom. And that freedom, it begins when your outer actions match your inner values. Part 6, Number 3, Reconnecting with the Foundations of Faith. In Buddhist philosophy, the number 3 represents the 3 jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. These aren't just philosophical ideals. They are living anchors, especially during times of emotional turbulence, loss, or burnout. They remind us of where to return when everything else feels like it's falling apart. But let me tell you a story, one that's becoming increasingly common. Thomas, a 52-year-old executive in Copenhagen, had it all on the outside. A sleek apartment, international clients, and a title that demanded respect. But on the inside, he was unraveling. Years of chasing promotions, building his reputation, and living on deadlines had left him numb. At first, it was just poor sleep. Then the anxiety came. Eventually, he started dreading Mondays, and not even vacations could reset his mind. His turning point came during a business trip to Zurich. One evening, after a long day of negotiation, Thomas sat alone in his hotel room, scrolling through social media, when he came across a video titled, "You Are Not Your Job." It featured a Buddhist monk speaking calmly about impermanence and inner peace. It hit him like a quiet storm. Back in Denmark, Thomas visited a local Buddhist center. The silence, the incense, the calm faces, it all felt foreign and familiar at the same time. Over the next few weeks, he kept coming back, and through practice and reflection, he slowly began to rediscover something he'd lost long ago. Faith, not in religion, but in himself. That's when the 3 jewels came alive for him. 1. The Buddha, awakening within. The Buddha represents the potential for awakening that exists in each of us. For Thomas, this became a mirror. Every time he caught himself falling into old patterns, rushing, proving, pleasing, he would ask, what would the awakened version of me do here? It wasn't always easy, but this single question began to reshape his behavior. He started responding, not reacting. 2. The Dharma, the teaching that heals. The Dharma, the Buddha's teachings, offered Thomas a new lens through which to see his suffering. It wasn't punishment, it was a signpost. He began to study concepts like non-attachment, mindfulness, and right effort. Slowly, the chaos made sense. He didn't need to fix everything. He needed to understand it. 3. The Sangha, the community that holds you. At first, Thomas was hesitant to open up. But over time, he discovered the Sangha, the community of fellow seekers, was where he felt most human. There was no pressure to impress, no hierarchy, no competition. Just shared space, quiet smiles, and stories that echoed his own. In those circles, healing happened naturally. Eventually, Thomas left his high-stress job. He didn't run away from life. He ran toward it. He moved into a smaller home by the coast, started a coaching practice focused on mindful leadership, and began each morning with silence, tea, and a question. What matters most today? The number 3 is not just a digit. It's a symbol of rebirth, a call to begin again. Whether you're 25 or 75, Life will give you signs. Moments when you feel disconnected, overwhelmed, or stuck. When that happens, return to the 3 jewels. Ask yourself, am I living in alignment with the wiser version of myself? Am I seeking wisdom or just answers? Am I supported and offering support in a real community? You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take 3 steps. Return to awareness, relearn the teachings, reconnect with others. Because beginnings don't require permission, only willingness. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply to begin again. Part 7, number 7, awakening through mindfulness and joy. The number 7 in Buddhist wisdom symbolizes the 7 factors of enlightenment, qualities that illuminate the path toward inner freedom. These aren't distant spiritual ideals reserved for monks in robes. They are tools, each one a gentle reminder that awakening is not a destination, but a daily process. Think of them as the ingredients of inner clarity, and number 7 as the recipe for real, lasting peace. Let's walk through each one, and more importantly, explore how they can shape our everyday lives. 1. Mindfulness, sati, the compass of the mind. Mindfulness is like a compass. It doesn't stop the storm, but it keeps you from getting lost in it. When we're mindful, we're not drowning in past regrets or future fears. We're here, breathing, noticing, choosing. Try this. Next time you're brushing your teeth or waiting at a red light, just notice your breath. That small act is you realigning your compass. 2. Investigation di Dhammachikkaya, the curious student. This factor is all about spiritual curiosity. Instead of blind obedience, it invites us to ask deeper questions. Why do I suffer? What brings me peace? A woman I met in Florence once told me, I stopped praying for answers and started living the questions. That's the spirit of investigation, not having it all figured out, but staying open. 3. Energy, virya, the inner spark. Awakening takes effort, not force, but consistent energy. Think of it like lighting a fire. Too much wood, no flame. Too much flame, it burns out. Apply this by committing to just one small discipline each day, whether it's 5 minutes of meditation or writing a gratitude list. Don't underestimate the power of little done often. 4. Joy, piti, the discipline of delight. Yes, joy is a factor of enlightenment, but not the kind of joy that comes from a dopamine hit or online shopping. This is deep joy, the kind that arises when you live in alignment. Joy can be practiced. Smile at someone, watch a sunset, laugh without needing a reason. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. 5. Tranquility, passaddhi, the still pond. Imagine your mind like a lake. When thoughts race, it's choppy. But with practice, the water's calm. Tranquility comes from daily silence, a walk without headphones, a few quiet sips of tea. It's not escape. It's returning to the stillness that was always there. 6. Concentration, samadhi, the sharpened arrow. Concentration is focused awareness. It sharpens the mind like an arrow aimed at truth. You can build it through single tacking, whether it's cooking or folding laundry. Do it fully. Depth, not speed, is the practice. 7. Equanimity, upekkha, the anchor in the storm. Equanimity is emotional balance. It's not numbness. It's the ability to stay grounded in chaos. Think of a tree. It doesn't resist the wind. It sways, but stays rooted. The number 7 reminds us that enlightenment is not reserved for monasteries. It's woven into your morning routines, your responses to stress, your willingness to be joyful without reason. Let this number guide you not to perfection, but to presence. Because a life aligned with these 7 factors is not just awakened, it's alive. Part 8. Putting it all together. A day in the life using all 6 numbers. You've explored the meaning behind each number: 6, 8, 9, 5, 3, and 7. But how do you actually live these teachings? Let's imagine a simple, mindful day. A life guided not by fear, but by purpose, wisdom, and spiritual alignment. Morning, grounding with number 6, 6 perfections. As you wake up, place a hand on your heart and whisper, "Today I choose generosity, patience, and wisdom." Make tea in silence. Offer a small blessing, even if only in thought, to someone in your life. That's generosity. Breathe deeply. That's meditation. Respond to a negative thought with kindness. That's diligence. Mid-morning, navigating with number 8-fold path. As you begin your workday, pause and reflect. Is what I'm doing aligned with right intention and right effort? Choose your words carefully in conversation. That's right speech. Complete a task with clarity and focus. That's right concentration. Noon, ethical check-in with number 5, 5 precepts. At lunch, practice mindful eating. Avoid distractions. Reflect, am I living in a way that causes no harm to myself or others? Let go of the urge to multitask. Avoid gossip. Choose clarity over comfort. That's living the precepts. Afternoon, embrace number 3, 3 jewels. Take a short walk or a moment of silence. Would the awakened version of me choose right now? Let the Buddha remind you of your higher self. Let the Dharma guide your decisions. Let the Sangha, even virtual, remind you that you're not alone. Evening, reflect with number 7, 7 factors of enlightenment. Journal before bed. Where did I feel mindful, joyful, and balanced today? Name one moment of joy, one moment of calm, one lesson you learned. Smile in gratitude, even for the smallest wins. This is more than a routine, it's a ritual. And the biggest fortune isn't waiting to be won. It's being lived, one mindful breath at a time. Now that we've walked through each number, 6, 8, 9, 5, 3, and 7, it's clear. These weren't just lucky digits to write on a ticket. They were mirrors, each one reflecting back the kind of person you're becoming and the life you're ready to live. Because real wealth isn't measured in lottery wins or bank balances. It's found in quiet clarity, ethical choices, joyful presence, and when you align your actions with intention, when you replace fear with mindfulness, when you show up with heart, even on the ordinary days, that's when fortune arrives, quietly, powerfully. So as you step into April 17th and beyond, remember this. The numbers may guide you, but your choices define you. If this journey resonated with your heart, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the bell so you never miss your next step forward. And here's one final intention to set your energy in motion. Comment below, I am aligned with purpose, peace, and prosperity. Let it be your silent vow and your first step toward everything you're meant to become. The lottery of life isn't out there. It's happening within you, right now.